So this is Grandma. I didn't expect this to happen. So in 2011, my grandmother had a pulmonary embolism making the bed. And because, if the bed isn't done, she always said the room wasn't clean. So she went into St. Joe's in Patterson in ICU for 2 months, and she was non-responsive for most of that time. I knew she was in there because she always twinkled her toes. And I knew that my grandmother was thinking about something that she was obsessing about. So my family and I, we divvied up roles. My mom, she's a healthcare billing consultant. So she took over the bills and the documentation. My aunt, she took care of the home front with and for my grandfather, which my grandfather never came to the hospital, not once. He just could not bear seeing his wife in those conditions. And my uncle, the only Italian son, provided the love and support a mom needed. I, on the other hand, was more of like a soccer coach trying to piece all the puzzles together. I tried to use building an elder care firm to my advantage. So we worked with the doctors. Yes, we were basically on the medical team. If any of you know me, that's not a surprise. And we worked with them to attack each organ. So all of her organs just started failing. So we were trying to figure out which ones we were going to attack. No, this isn't me playing games on my phone, although I wish it was, or scouring the internet. I was managing the law firm on my phone. So if anyone has been a caregiver, you know that virtual working is not just a pandemic phenomenon. I think back and wonder how I did it all, to be quite honest. Not only was I instrumental in starting a law firm during this time, but I was also prepping for a wedding, my wedding that was 6 months away. And I was absolutely determined to have my grandmother there, even though she was non-responsive. She did miss my bridal shower due to all of this. And I had just moved out of my childhood home, and I was 27 years old, that I shared with none other than my grandmother. So like I said, I was determined to get her there. So when we finally got her out of ICU, she went to rehab, and so did I. I went every single day and I did rehab with her, sometimes twice a day. And like I said, I don't quite know how I did it. And I'm sure I know some of you on here have been caregivers. And I think that if you pause and think of all the things that you do, even if you're just a parent, you're just like sometimes amazed that you got things done. And sometimes you don't even remember that you got it done. Time management, right? Isn't that the challenge? And no matter what we do between our children, our work, caring for a loved one, it's shocking. But nevertheless, we are superstars and we get it done. So thank you for doing that poll. And so I was, like I said, I was going to the rehab twice a day, and she ended up making it to my wedding. So she defied all odds. The doctors said that she would never even be able to stand again. Okay. So in rehab, we had two big men on the side of her and one big man behind her, and they all helped her up. She stood there for about 3 seconds before she started screaming. She was there for 3 months. And at the end of those 3 months, she was able to walk with a walker, and even without one, if she was with me. So I always tell my mother, my aunt, and my uncle, so they're not going to be surprised if they ever hear this, that she always loved me the most. So I was, and this kind of whole experience proved that, because she always walked with me without a walker. So that's why it's so dear to my heart. But looking back, I was thankful to have her for the next 6 years. But during that time came the most challenging times. Unlike a baby, a declining adult gets sent home with a lot of instructions, lots and lots of them, on times when to take medicine, maybe looking at the blood pressure. If the blood pressure is under this number, hold the medicine. If it's above, give the medicine, and to give the medicines at a certain time. Well, I didn't know that you couldn't give the medicine at that certain time. You could give it an hour later. So I was always very high strung to get her meds when she needed to. We started bathing her. This is a woman that always took care of us. Cooking for her, bringing to every specialist under the sun. So it was a devastating experience, not only for us, but for her.